Peace and welcome to the culture here on the Black Star Network. I'm your host, Faraji Muhammad. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. Folks, we got a lot to talk about. First and foremost, I'm going to share with you just what some of the remarks made by President Biden as he established those memorials, those monuments in the honor of Mamie and Emmett Till. We'll share with you what the president said at the White House today. Also, let's talk about Carlee Russell. It is official. She has admitted to lying and creating a hoax. Now what? That's the question I have. We'll have that conversation. Plus, I check in with my man Scotty from Off Script TV to talk about the situation in FAMU and that rap video that's caused so much controversy. We'll have that conversation and a whole lot more. Stay with us. There's a lot to get you on today's edition of The Culture right here on the Black Star Network. Let's go. All right, folks, welcome to The Culture here on the Black Star Network. I'm your host, Faraji Muhammad. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. First, let's jump right into it, folks. Today, the president has made it official that there will be certain sites between two states, for the state of Illinois and the state of Mississippi, that will be memorialized in honor of Mamie and Emmett Till. We talked about this story yesterday. The president signed the proclamation earlier this morning, and this today marks the 82nd anniversary of Emmett Till's birth, if he was blessed to stay alive since he was born in 1941. One of the monument sites is his funeral location, Robert's Temple Church of God in Christ in Chicago. Then there have been other selected sites in Mississippi, the Grabo Landing, which was close to where Emmett Till's body is believed to have been recovered, and the Tallahatchie County 2nd District Courthouse, where the two white men who later confessed to killing Emmett Till were acquitted by an all-white jury. According to the reports, all of those sites and others will be considered federal property, folks, receiving about $180,000 a year in funding from the National Park Service. Any future vandalism, of course, will be investigated by federal law enforcement, according to Patrick Weems, who serves as the executive director of the Emmett Till Interpretive Center in Sumner, Mississippi. So let's go to, I want to share with you just some quick remarks from the president. Vice President Kamala Harris was also on hand to give some remarks. But let me take you to the White House right now. Check this out.
I'm not going to tell you to whisper to me. Thank you, Reverend Parker. And thank all of you for being here. I want to thank Kamala for her not only capacity to do what she does, but the fire with which she brings to the things she cares a lot about. To all the members of Congress, including Representative Benny Thompson, Senator Tammy Duckworth, Representative Danny Davis, and Senator Dick Durbin, who wish a speedy recovery from COVID. He's just recovered from COVID right now. And who have long fought to honor the Till family. It's not new to any of them. To the Till family, it's an honor to be with you again. You know, when I was preparing these remarks, I quite frankly, and my colleagues will understand this, I found myself trying to temper my anger as I was writing it. I'm not joking. I can't fathom what it must have been like. It's hard to believe I was 12 years old. And I just, I know no matter how much time has passed, how many birthdays, how many events, how many anniversaries, it's hard to relive this. It brings it all back. We were talking about Rev as if it happened yesterday. The images in your head, things you remember. But it's inspiring to see how many of your family have continued as mothers' courage to find faith in pain, purpose in pain. That's a remarkable thing, it seems to me. Insisting on an open casket for her murdered, and I might add, maimed and mutilated son. 14 years old. 14 years old. She said, let the people see what I've seen. Let the people see what I have seen. My God. All of us have lost children in other ways. How hard it is even to close the casket or keep it open, or what a debate it is. But to see the child that had been maimed, and the country and the world saw, not just heard the story of Emmett Till and his mother, as a story of a family's promise and loss and the nation's reckoning with hate, violence, racism, overwhelming abuse of power, brutality. It's hard to fathom. Hard to fathom this even in war for me. It's hard to fathom. But today, on what we've been, would have been Emmett's 82nd birthday, we had another chapter in the story of remembrance and healing. Just as we joined together when I signed the law in his name to make lynching a federal crime, think how long that took for that to happen. I mean, and we screened the movie Till at the White House. Today, we join together as I sign a proclamation designating Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley National Monument in both Illinois and the Mississippi. When we ended lynching as a matter of law, we talked about wanting to do this, but the support from the community has been so overwhelming. I thank the members of Congress for their support, but more than that, their leadership. At a time when there are those who seek to ban books, bury history, we're making it clear, crystal clear. While darkness and denialism can hide much, they erase nothing. You can hide, but they erase nothing. We can't just choose to learn what we want to know. We have to learn what we should know. We should know about our country. We should know everything, the good, the bad, the truth of who we are as a nation. That's what great nations do, and we are a great nation. That's what they do. For only with truth comes healing, justice, repair, and another step forward toward forming a more perfect union. We got a hell of a long way to go. That's what's happening. That's what's going to happen with visitors of all backgrounds to learn the history of Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley through our national monument. Look, telling the truth and the full history of our nation, supporting our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, to our nation as a whole. I've said it before. It was a lesson I learned coming out of not like real leaders in the civil rights movement, but I came out of the civil rights movement as a kid, as a public defender. And I used to, think that if you pass something that was good, you can make hate go away. Hate never goes away. It just hides. It hides under the rocks. And given a little bit of oxygen by bad people, it comes roaring out again. It's up to all of us to deal with that. Up to all of us to stop it. Up to all of us. The best way to do it is with the truth. It's used in a different context, but I think it applies here. Silence is complicity. I will not be silent, nor will you be silent about what happened. there's really critical work ahead to continue the fight for racial justice and equality for all Americans. And my administration is committed to leading the path forward. And I know the members of Congress here are even more committed than that. I'm going to close with this. The reason the world saw what Mrs. Till Mobley saw was because another hero in this story, the black press. Oh, I'm serious. Jet Magazine, the Chicago Defender, and other newspapers and radio announcers who told the story were unflinching in the bravery with which they told that story, making sure America saw what they saw. Ida B. Wells once said, quote, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. The way to right wrongs is to shine the light of truth on them." Well, that's our charge today. By the way, parenthetic, do you ever think we'd be talking about banning books in America? Banning history? I'm serious. The Till family, to all of you here today, I thank you for your courage, for never giving up. Never, never giving up. Before I say even what's more is on my mind, I'm not going to leave this podium. No, I mean, it's just barbaric. Barbaric what happened. And seriously, all you moms out there, imagine the courage it took to say, let them see. The courage. It's now my honor to sign this proclamation in memory of Emmett Till and Miss Mamie Till Mobley. And I thank you all for being here. And I know I'm considered too much of an optimist, but I believe if we keep pushing, we're going to continue to make progress. We're going to continue to make progress. It's already being made. The idea that when that 14-year-old was buried, that in this Indian treaty room, there were this many people of color holding powerful office, changing the direction of the country, would have been beyond our comprehension. And we're just getting started.
That is, of course, President Biden just sharing some brief remarks about his signing of the proclamation to create national monuments, national memorial sites in the story and for the family, in honor and respect of the family of Emmett Till, mother Mamie Till Mobley. And we got to take a quick pause, folks. But when we come forward, I want to just have a brief discussion with you about what you heard from the president and how you feel about this. So stay with us. We still got a lot to cover here in this first hour of The Culture, right here on the Black Star Network.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Check some money orders. Go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is roland@rolandsmartin.com.
I'm Faraji Muhammad, live from LA. And this is The Culture. The Culture is a two-way conversation. You and me. We talk about the stories, politics, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So join our community every day at 3 p.m. Eastern and let your voice be heard. Hey, we're all in this together, so let's talk about it and see what kind of trouble we can get into. It's The Culture, weekdays at 3, only on the Black Star Network.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
All right, folks, welcome back to The Culture here on the Black Star Network. I'm your host, Faraji Muhammad. We just played for you just some of the brief remarks coming from the White House from President Biden as he has made it known he has signed a major proclamation where he has memorialized certain sites of the story of Emmett Till today. These sites will become national and federally protected monuments that will forever be in the hands of the United States government, and it will be supported in terms of its upkeep and maintenance in the United States government, and cannot, and if they are destroyed or if they are vandalized, the persons that will be responsible for that will be charged with federal crimes. And so today it was a historic day to concretize and memorialize the story of our little brother Emmett Till, who was killed back in 1955 after he was brutally murdered and mutilated. And it was the decision of his mother, Mamie Till Mobley, to show the racist brutality to the world that was a tipping point for the civil rights movement. Emmett Till would have been 82 years old today had he lived through that ordeal. But President Biden thought it was in the best interest of the country that he do this proclamation today. Folks, I want to get your take on this. What do you think of what the president has done? And more importantly, what do you make of the speech that he has made? We're going to go to, there we go. We're going to go to you as my culture crew, because I would love to hear what you got to say. All right, crew, let's go here, because so many of you have been checking in, and I love to hear what y'all have to say. If this is your first time tuning in, and I know we got a new subscriber, Tony Callahan. Welcome to the Bring the Funk fan club, Tony. Welcome to The Culture here on the Black Star Network, and welcome to you being a part of today's culture crew. And let me hear what y'all got to say on this, crew. Share your thoughts, post your questions. Y'all know how we go in the show. It's all about making sure that we all are a part of this conversation. Deidre, I'm gonna kick it off with you. Good to hear from you. You said, right, they can't erase history from this country, Mr. President. Right, you can't. You cannot erase history. I'm totally in agreement with you, Deidre. Can't erase history. I think that what the president pointed out, I love the quote that he had put out there. In a time when there are those who seek to ban books, bury history, we're making it clear, crystal clear. While darkness and denialism can hide much, they erase nothing. Darkness and denialism can hide much, they erase nothing. Absolutely. So big shout to the president to at least acknowledging that. And of course, this is a jab because of with the situation down in Florida. But Deidre, I think you're right there on point with that comment. Thank you for checking in. You don't like my music. You say, bro, we should judge politicians by what they do, not what they say. Absolutely. Absolutely. The president has done something big today, right? Of course, he memorialized this part of our history. He federally protected this part of the story of our history. But you do have to look at what he said. One of the things that I try to keep in mind, folks, of course, with political leadership, you do got to focus more on what they do. But what they say matters to people. You know, I had to grow into my understanding of this, that people really do look to individuals like the president, whether it's President Biden, whoever the president is, people are looking and seeking for guidance and leadership. Yes, what people do is highly important. But there was something about what Obama said and the way he made us feel that not just brought us out to the voting booths, but also really just opened up the conversation about inspiration and guiding us, right? Because that's the role of the president. It's not just signing policy papers. It's not just, you know, talking about the budget and things. It's talking about that role of president is to be the chief inspirational officer. Y'all hear me on that? Not just the chief executive officer, not just the chief financial officer, but the role, the soft qualification of the president is to be the chief inspirational officer, which means that they are responsible to inspire us to make sure that we do, to inspire us to be better. So just keep that in mind. But I truly, truly hear you. You don't like my music, and I appreciate you for posting that. Moet 131, you said the proclamation is cool, but those involved should have been charged, especially the lady, as soon as she admitted she lied. Right. Well, you're talking about Carolyn Bryant. You're absolutely right. She should have been, she died. She never was charged, even though the lies came. And as a result of that, you know, we didn't see that part of justice being served because of whatever. There were so many different issues, everything from evidence to justice to all of those things. So it's all of those things. Absolutely, it is all of those things. Look, I got to take another quick pause. When we come forward, more of your comments. And also, let's talk about the other part of the history, which is the Carlee Russell story. Let's talk about that as well. So stay with us. We got some more to discuss in this first hour of The Culture here on the Black Star Network.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
I'm Faraji Muhammad, live from LA. And this is The Culture. The Culture is a two-way conversation. You and me. We talk about the stories, politics, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So join our community every day at 3 p.m. Eastern and let your voice be heard. Hey, we're all in this together. So let's talk about it and see what kind of trouble we can get into. It's The Culture, weekdays at 3, only on the Black Star Network.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
A lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Check some money orders. Go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland@RolandSMartin.com.
All right, folks, welcome back to The Culture here on the Black Star Network. We have been talking a little bit about what happened earlier today at the White House, where President Biden has officially signed a national proclamation where he has designated certain sites from the story of Emmett and Mamie Till to be federally protected as national monuments. So the president gave some remarks earlier today. We played that for you. But many of you think that this is something that needed to be done. And of course, there's still the sentiment that more needs to be done. The president recognizes that. But at least for this part of the history, at least for this part of the story, especially on the 82nd birth anniversary of Emmett Till, there can be some sense that his story will never, ever be forgotten. And so, this is a good piece of history that we should all be celebrating, and especially since a lot of us, and I'm speaking of maybe our children and maybe our children's, some of our children, they can benefit from understanding and knowing that part of our history. Now, here's the other stories I wanted to talk about. Carlee Russell. It's hard, folks. Let me keep it honest with you. It's hard because she has officially admitted to lying and creating this whole story up. Per her lawyers, let me share with you what her lawyers had said about the situation. Just a very brief statement coming from her lawyers, stating that, quote, "My client apologizes for her actions to the community, to the volunteers who are searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well." So we all know the story that she went missing just a few days ago, of maybe about July the 13th. So it's about a couple of weeks ago. And then 49 hours later, she ended up being, quote unquote, found, or as she walked to her home, her parents' house, where she was rediscovered. Gave a lot of details about a baby on the road, being abducted, put into an 18-wheeler, escaping from that, running into a white male with bald and orange hair. The whole story, all a hoax. When I heard about this, folks, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I really wasn't upset. My whole sentiment around this situation, and we talked about it when the Hoover Police Department chief had that major press conference last week. My whole sense was that whatever's going on with the system needs to be dealt with. She has, obviously, she's been going through something, mental health issues, something. But I'm not going to beat up on my sister. I'm not going to beat up on my sister. She yes, she lied. We all lied. We have all lied, maybe not to this magnitude, but I'm not beating up on my sister. I'm just not doing it. And it's not going to stop me from being supportive of Black women who are really in trouble, whether they go missing, whether they are violated. That doesn't stop for me. And I hope that doesn't stop for you. So let me get to what some of you are saying. Let's talk a little bit about this Carlee Russell situation, because I want us to get this part done and get your take on this. Laura, you said, she's paying the price when she took her last breath here on earth. Oh, you're talking about Carolyn Bryant. I'm sorry, Lori, but you're talking about how Lori she's paying the price. Talking about Carolyn Bryant before judgment, she's going to be punished. Yeah, I hope so. But let's talk a little bit about Carlee here. This is our sister, Carlee Russell. Davey, you said I wasn't upset with her. I wasn't upset, but her statement made me more suspicious. Unfortunately, I find it hard to believe she didn't have any help whatsoever. She didn't do all of this prep solo. I mean, I can believe it. I can believe it. Like what? Who is going to do it? She didn't ask her boyfriend. Her boyfriend wasn't going to ride with her. Her boyfriend has now made it known that he has broken up with the sister. He said he was disgusted to find out that she had created this whole thing in her head and had gone so far to pull it off. So I understand why he don't want to be affiliated with Carlee Russell. Melvin, you checked in and said no one wants to be remembered for their worst moment. Well, that's what's going to happen, Melvin. She will forever be known as the Black woman who made up this grand story. And guess what, folks? The only unanswered question that I think many of us still have is why did she do it? Why did you do it, Carlee? Were you tired? Were you seeking some type of attention? Like, what made you take this thing so far? You know, and I got to give my sister grace, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody is going through some stuff. There's a story I came across yesterday. I think if y'all seen this was on social media. There was this Black woman. They had a lottery drawing, and this sister right here in Los Angeles, she was seen on camera crying and praising God and thanking you because she thinks she was I don't know what she does. She thought she wanted to show the world that she got the winning ticket for a $1 billion lottery drawing. But guess what? She wasn't the winner. She was lying. And the store owner at the time didn't know. I mean, this happened a few days ago. So the store owner didn't know, but the granddaughter of the store owner called this sister out and said, she's lying. No winner has claimed this prize. And she figured that this Black woman just went through all of this drama, all of this fake excitement to be on TV. What the hell is going on? There's something that's really, as they say, something is in the water. And lies are becoming so rampant at this point, folks, that it's so hard to believe who's telling the truth and who isn't. Y'all heard about this story? Cindy D, my sister, thank you for checking in. You said, I hope Carlee Russell gets the help that she needs. Facts. Absolutely. Absolutely. Me too. I mean, as much as I had a concern for her, I mean, I still am concerned for her, so that hasn't changed, but it really wasn't no skin off of my back. You know what I mean? Like it, and it's just unfortunate. I don't want to see the sister drag through social media. And I think we need to be very careful about how we do this, right? Like, okay, some of us may be upset because some of us may say, I prayed for the sister and I did all of these things for the sister. That's all well and good. And I understand you feeling some sense of betrayal, but trust and believe, we do not want to get into a place where we open the door where somebody can take our pain, exploit it, because they see a moment like this and then they exploit it. And then when the next situation comes up with a Black woman, a very real situation comes up with a Black woman, then the winds will change where we don't believe the next Black woman. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the sister is going through something. So we just got to take it as that. I think that's the best way to see the situation. All right. Who I see? Shirley Hamilton. Thank you for checking in, Shirley. You said social media attention. That's all it is, Shirley. That's all it is. Social media attention. This thing, this platform, and I'm not talking about this one in particular, but I'm just saying like the social media is, whew. There have been a number of studies around this situation about the impact of social media on people's view of themselves and the world. And it is driving people to the brink of losing touch with reality. So I'm right there with you there, Shirley. Thank you for checking in. Marcus Fit for Life, you checked in and said she's going to get charged. Oh yeah, they are discussing what the charges will be. The Hoover Police Department, the district attorney, even her lawyers are all part of that conversation, of course, as that has been reported, to figure out what should the charges be. She already got fired from her job, obviously, because she stole from her job. And what I read, that some of her coworkers were part of the search team. They volunteered their time. So they're really upset with it. But she got fired from her job. She just lost her relationship. I mean, she lied. And I think like I said, we all probably are trying to figure out, why did she do it? She may tell us, she may not tell us. But one thing is for sure, that the social media and this amount of attention can send her into even further downward spiral. So that's why I'm taking the side of giving my sister some grace here. You know what I'm saying? She did a stupid thing. But we all have done stupid things, right? We all have lied. And some people, oh, I haven't lied to where I caused police to look after me. Yeah, I understand. But, we all have done some things. And I'm sure she regrets it. After looking at the embarrassment she put her family through, the fact that she lost her job, the fact that she lost her boyfriend, her name is going to forever be gone down in history as being the Black woman who lied about this crazy hoax. People are sending out jokes and memes of her on social media. I mean, so we don't want to send the sister into a very real, or take her further down into a mental health space, a mental decline, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, we want to just blaze her for doing something stupid. Imagine if that happened to us. Imagine if that happened to us. Pauline, you agree with me? You said right for Roger. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. Let me see here. Cozy Creations, you said, I just don't think she should get drugged through. No, I don't either. I don't think we should take her through the mud. You know what I'm saying? Look, we have forgiven people who have done worse to us. No, there's nothing wrong with your sound. I just want that to resonate. Black folks have forgiven people who have done worse to us. Check the story of Dylan Roof. Right? We've forgiven people that's done worse for us. I'm not going to turn my back on the sister, especially after she lied. She might actually start to experience an even more mental health decline. I'm not turning my back on the sister. So that's just me, though. That's just me. Sandy, you checked in and said, this is why I said jail isn't the answer. This was a victimless crime. Restitution is needed for the official's time, but she has to deal with the consequences nonetheless. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that point, Sandy. You're making it. Absolutely. It's a victimless crime. She did it by herself. There was no baby. There was no other people involved. You know what I'm saying? It was a victimless crime. She wronged herself, and she will forever, folks, y'all know it and I know it. When you wrong yourself, you will forever have to suffer the consequences of that. And guess what? There's no pain that's stronger than the pain of you wronging yourself. Like, somebody else can make you go through something, but this and this, I'm talking about the heart. When you got to wake up to who you are every day, you go to sleep to who you are every day. That's a hard pill to swallow, that you have to admit to yourself, like, man, I am this person. This is not a characterization. This is not a misinterpretation. This is reality. I'm really a liar. I've lied to a whole group of people. I've lied to a whole country. And you're going to have to deal with that consequence. But that's within yourself. That's within yourself. Robert Shields, you said forgiving someone has nothing to do with the consequences she brought against herself. No. Okay, I feel you, Robert. But the thing is, can we move on as the people that's a part of her, that she's a part of, the community she's a part of, the group of people she's a part of? Can the culture move on? Because I really don't find it funny. If the sister got a real serious mental health problem, why are we making fun of her? Why we, and I get it, Black folks, we often use humor as a way to get through the pain, but some things you just can't laugh about. I think it's more of us. This could be a teaching moment rather than a joke. Because there are a lot of Black women, there are a lot of Black girls who may feel like they just need some attention. If that was the motivation, that they need some attention. And so they're like, you know what? They will go to extreme measures just to be seen. Right? I'm just thinking about some of the motivations for her. But if she just felt like she wasn't seen, and that's a human desire, that's a natural desire, there's nothing funny about that. It's nothing funny to make up a story like this, to go through the length that she went through, just simply to get some attention. That's heartbreaking, that as a human being, as a Black woman, that she has to go so far to get so little. Lana, you said even though I feel sorry for her, she should be taught a lesson. She should get years of community service. I mean, that might be a good thing. Get years of community service. And hopefully the first service she should get is some mental health services, though, real talk. But I agree with you, Lana. Thank you for checking in. Christopher Epps, you checked in. You said ex-drug addicts recognize drug addicts, and that was a drug addict behavior. I didn't think about that, Christopher, but you may be right, bro. You may be right, brother. That is definitely a person who is suffering and is fighting an addiction. That is the type of behavior. So we got to take a quick pause, but our hearts and prayers go out to the Russell family, to her mother and father who put themselves out there, really wanted to protect their daughter. They may have known the truth when she got home and still put out a statement that she was fighting for her life. But guess what? I think any good parent would do that. You would do all that you can to protect your child when your child is the most in a vulnerable position. So, my heart and prayer go out to the Russell family. Let's keep them in prayer. And more importantly, folks, let's just use this as a teaching moment and help us to get a better wrap around the culture. That way we don't go through a situation like this. This can be different. I think the best way, as we wrap this up, the best way that we can make sure that this doesn't happen again is to create a safe space for Black women to be vulnerable. Once Black women can be vulnerable, once Black women can feel seen, once Black women can feel like they can communicate what's going on in their mind, their spirit, and their heart, then this will be an excellent step forward. And that will help us to put this situation in the right perspective. We have to make it safe for Black women in all levels, on all levels of society. All right, folks, we got to take a quick pause. When we come forward, let's check in with my guy, Scotty from Off Script TV, to talk to us about FAMU. And also, let me see if I can get Scotty's thoughts on what happened to LeBron James' son, who suffered a cardiac arrest during the practice here at USC here in Los Angeles. We'll talk a little bit about that. Stay with us. The culture continues on the other side here on the Black Star Network.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol,
we're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate Black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear. Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
All right, folks, welcome back to The Culture here on the Black Star Network. I'm your host, Faraji Muhammad. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. What a dope first hour we just had, talking a little bit about the situation from the White House, where President Biden has signed an official proclamation this morning, where he memorialized certain sites of the Emmett Till, Mamie Till Mobley story. So make sure y'all check that out, because we played the full remarks from the president earlier today. Also, we talked about Carlee Russell. Now that we know that she has lied and made up the story about her abduction, what happens next? And we still stand with Black women. We still believe Black women. Ain't nothing changed. So make sure y'all do your due diligence, be a part of Team Replay, and check out the first hour. Of course, we're streaming live right now on blackstarnetwork.com. We are streaming live on Amazon News TV, on Roku. And of course, we're streaming on the two big platforms, Facebook, and of course, on YouTube. And it's on YouTube where you could join us in the conversation, be a part of the Culture Crew. Just go on YouTube, click on Roland Martin on YouTube, our YouTube page where we're streaming at, and join the conversation as a Culture Crew member. All right, folks, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little bit about sports. I'm so happy because I haven't talked to my brother in like forever. I think he had a major life event. My guy, Scotty from Off Script TV. Something major happened into your life, Scotty. Did you get a promotion?
You know your boy got
I
was married. Setup is real. Thanks,
Scotty, little bro, welcome. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
I was married now.
You are married now. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man.
Man. I follow Scotty on IG, y'all, on social media, and he was happy. When I tell you Scotty was happy, he was happy.
Let me tell you this, right? So you got a lot of women. Listen, when you know you dated out your league, you guys. Just give it a fuck with you. When you know you got somebody out your league, you be like, thank you God that we made it this far. I wasn't trying to lose. I'm just being real, man. Listen. I'll be like this, you can't get rid of me, okay? Like this, you can't get rid of me, okay?
Hey, bro, I feel you on that. Hey, look, man, Black love is real, and it's a beautiful thing. Hey, yo, crew, make sure y'all show Scotty some love. Congratulate him. He is, there you go. He is.
Hey,
we happy for you, bro.
Let me say this, right? It's funny you brought that up because last night, my wife,
there you go.
My wife, she was in a little Facebook group, and she was like, did you want me or did you need me? I said, I needed you, baby. I don't even care what your answer is. I know what I needed. I needed you. She's like, yeah, because I was more like a want. I said, that's fine with me. That's fine with me. I needed you. Okay?
Hey, bro, that's what women want to hear.
I meant that.
Nah, bro. Seriously, that's what women want to hear. And that's what, man, you and we can talk about all day, but the fact is, I am so happy for you, bro, because it's interesting. I literally just saw a post from Charlemagne the God, and he posted something. He said LeBron James, Jay-Z. He posted. He talked about somebody else, but he was like, here are two men that actually have wives and families, and of course there are many others that we can name.
Yeah. But
he was making a point that when you will have someone, a base to work from, a family, when you have a partner in the journey of life,
good.
That it makes a huge difference for your personal success and your collective growth. He said it makes a huge difference. And so when I was thinking about you and I thought about that, I was like, it makes a huge difference, bro. There's nothing that it makes a huge difference. You and I probably know a bunch of brothers, who are out and who are successful, you know, on paper, but I didn't expect to go. You know what I'm saying? They successful on paper, Scotty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they got the little cars, they got some money, blah blah blah. But I'm talking about the emotional intelligence. I'm talking about the groundedness and the rootedness of things. There's no comparison, bro.
You preaching? Listen.
I'm just saying. Like, man, look. Whether you're in a marriage or whether you're in a long-term committed relationship, having a partner in this thing, right, and redirecting all of the sexual energy and redirecting the wandering and all of that stuff into some productive force, bro. That's the difference between mediocre and success. Trust and believe.
That might.
I charge any man to say that that's not the difference. Because trust me, you find a good woman, a decent woman, and she rides you with your raggedy ass. That's the difference. Rolling knows it. I know it. Everybody knows.
Yeah, that's you preaching. You need to do a segment on that. That's good. That's good stuff. But yeah, you preaching on that one. I ain't even gonna hold you on that one. You preaching.
Come on, man. So I'm just excited. I'm like, look, you already a solid dude anyway.
You know, I try. You know what I'm saying?
You're already a solid dude anyway. You got love for God. You can tell you serve the country well. You already a solid dude. But now you got a woman that's like that's your bruh, please. We're gonna be seeing you on everything. Off script TV about to go to the next level.
I love that prophecy, boy. You prophesying.
I'm just saying. Well, you're my brother, so I only want the best for you, man. Real talk. I only want the best.
And I want to say congratulations to you, for your new endeavors as well, because I saw that on your
Instagram
as well. So
bro.
It's all love, man.
That's what we did.
I thought you didn't rock with your boy no more. I was like, damn, I can't even get on the coach.
No. It's never that. You always look any platform that I'm on. Now we just doing a bro fest at this point. We doing a bromance.
We need to see this black excellence.
Look, you know what I'm saying? Because look, I want to look. I love black men who are doing great and positive things. Even the brothers in the crew. I know the brothers in the crew are doing dope things. We might not always agree, but that doesn't take away from the simple fact that as black men, we got so much to offer, man. So much to offer, man. So I love seeing brothers succeed and do well and have families, man, because that's the cornerstone. And even if you're not married, you say, even if you're not married, just be solid. Don't be out here just.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Listen. I used to be out here.
That's what I'm saying. We all did it.
We all did it. I'm about to say I ain't judging nobody. Listen.
Nah, look, man.
I've been there. Okay, Okay, Rolling Stone, baby.
When she came into your life, she was like, that stone stopped rolling here, buddy.
Yeah. Once you know
put up the cleats because the game is over.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was I'm gonna say this, and we gonna get into it. But any brother looking to get married, start saving today. Okay, I don't care where you at. I don't care if you haven't found her yet. I don't care if you looking for her, if you got her. Start saving today. Right now. Make a new account. That thing is not cheap. That thing is not cheap.
Hey, you gonna pay, but hey, look, the return on the investment is unquantifiable.
I'm still waiting for it. Though.
Yo, you wild as hell. Look, I gotta take a quick pause. Then we're gonna jump into some sports, man. little bromance for the culture. We got to do it, man. Hey, look, you know, our guy Keenan, you know, he in this whole fight too. He in the struggle as well, man. You know what I'm saying? He got it. Oh yeah. Oh, Keenan ain't gonna make no qualms about it, man. Keenan is a family man.
Yeah, that's real. That's real deal.
That's my guy, man. There you go. Look, y'all, I gotta take look. This wasn't where this is the inspiration. This is straight coming from the universe here, man. Straight coming from God, man. Look, we gotta take a quick pause. When we come forward, then we can talk about some sports. Stay with us. It's the culture here on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
All right, folks, welcome back to the show. Welcome to the culture here on the Black Star Network. Let me bring my man Scotty back in here from Offscript TV. Make sure y'all follow Scotty on all social media platforms, IG, YouTube, everywhere you find him. Make sure y'all support him. Now, Scotty, let's talk a little bit about FAMU. Now, here's the situation, folks. If you haven't heard this story, FAMU got into a controversy where they allowed a hip-hop artist by the name of Boston Richie to film one of his songs in the locker room of the FAMU football team. There's the video there. This is actually the locker room of FAMU's football team. And you see some of the players now. I don't know if they've seen any particular. There we go. I guess what I was going to say, did we see any faces and names? But there it is right there. And so as a result of that, FAMU has, the coach has decided to suspend team activities and pretty much, reprimand the team. But my question is here on this situation, this has created a lot of controversy because even though this is the 50-year celebration of hip hop, FAMU said that this does not fit in the image of what the university stands for. That the coach said essentially that he's all good for free expression and music, but this doesn't fit the image. What's the story behind the story? Because I know you got some details, guys.
Oh man, listen, I got all the details. Okay, I got all of them. So what happened is this is what I've been told from a player on the team, is that nobody was really tripping. But Willie had to get out in front of it because he didn't want the blowback to come on his team, right? So that's why he did the self-imposing punishment of suspending the activities. But if you really dig deeper into him suspending activities, there was nobody in the building. Everybody had left for summer break. So who did you suspend? You get what I'm saying? So it was literally just something to do so people could say he did a punishment and let the team pretty much, because they just had SWAC Media Day, and he just said on SWAC Media Day all football activities have resumed. So it was that 48 hours of a punishment? You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't nobody in the office was really tripping. Now what's going to happen is what I heard is that one of the lower level administrators, they knew Boston Richie and they allowed him to come in. So he's probably going to lose his job. other than that, nobody inside that building in the football and athletics was really tripping because he is a Tallahassee native. He's been a part of that program for the last 3 to 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And that's the culture there. Like, I don't know. Willie had to put that statement out, but if you really know FAMU, Boston Richie is the culture of FAMU because he's a Tallahassee kid. He bleeds FAMU.
So was this an indictment against hip hop? Do you feel like this was like, I don't know, somebody just having a problem with hip hop music, or is it like?
This is my issue, right? And keep me on it. Can you? I like seeing your face. When this is my issue, Raji, is that the song is trash. Like that's my issue. It's not that he did the video. The song is trash. You know what I'm saying? So is it an indictment on hip hop? Yeah, because like I'm like, bro, where have we come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, it breaks my heart. This song is absolute trash, man. So it's, but all the young kids is like, oh, it's lit. I'm like, there's like no bars in that Joker. Like,
no bars.
It's like a couple bars. Ain't nothing real. So for me, the indictment, but the issue that I have is I had a show about this, right? And all the old heads calling in, 45 and up, just, we need to do better in the black culture. I said, hold up. You were listening to NWA. You were listening to Ice-T. You were listening to Luke Me So Horny. Let Trina, Trick Daddy, Master P. They weren't preaching the gospel. You know what I'm saying? They was rapping.
You were at Freak Nick.
Come on, man. Like, it's funny. And I know it's some old people in the chat talking about, oh, this new music nowadays. You know that if social media is out, that you would have been, listen, I had somebody call in. He said his first lady of his church back in 95 won the Pop Yo contest. His first lady at his church. So what I'm saying to you is everybody has a history, but people don't give the younger generation a pass because they're so beyond that now. They're 45, 50, 60 years old. And they don't
grown and matured.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you forget where you were at that age. So I'm like, let's not act like y'all grew up in the most of well times. Like, you listen to Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Notorious B.I.G., you know what I'm saying? They weren't talking about, black excellence. They was talking about drugs, murder, and killing. Come on.
They were talking, hey, come on, bro. They were talking about killing black people.
So what are we talking about right now?
You played yourself.
Exactly.
You played yourself. I mean, you talking about killing black people.
That's the stuff.
See, that's the thing, Scotty, that at the end of the day, if we don't come to grips, if we don't confront our own culture, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what will happen because, yeah, I don't think the song is dope. I don't think it's lit. I'm not a fan of the music of that particular style, but I understand, like, you to the point that you're making, that's the expression of the next generation right now, right? And I think that we do ourselves a disservice when we start using these generational arguments, be like, oh, back in the day. It's like, come on, man. Like, come on. If your child is 20 years old, 21, 22 years old right now, back in the early 2000s, let's go back in the late 90s. What was the popular music at that time?
Come on, let's not talk about 2000 when 50 Cent came out with what? What
was the popular culture? Look, bro, anything after 1995, because I used the Million Man March as a time milestone. It's like once the Million Man March happened in 1995, it was like the culture and I mean, I'm talking about the music. The music was just definitely became much more destructive and misogynistic and the whole nine, right? 96, y'all remember, Lil' Kim dropped
with the legs, with the
legs open up, right? Glorilla just did another cover that mimics the same cover. You know what I'm saying? Where were we in this? Where were we in the culture? You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, I appreciate you making that point, bro. That We act as if this is outside of ourselves. The problem is, here's the thing. We didn't course correct ourselves then, so now we blame the children to expect them to course correct now.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the problem.
That's good.
You see what I'm saying? So if our and not my parents or your parents, but if this generation's parents, those who went to Freaknik and did all of that, something happened, bro, where there's a disconnect between that generation doing that and then telling their children, hey, don't go down this road because it's not going to be. Something happened. There's a disconnect because the 21, 22, 23, they ain't come out no vacuum, man. I see, and this is a parenting thing, but I see, and you see it probably too, Scotty, grown ass parents rocking the most ratchet music while their small children are around or in the car. And so you expect a child who doesn't have the brain capacity to be able to filter.
That's good.
Yet. You expect them to be like, oh, this is just music. It's only entertainment. That's what Jay-Z said. But you expect them to like filter that from the reality. Too much, man. We expect too much for the next generation and then get mad when they don't get it because we didn't get it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, and we're getting into the parenting subject, just a little off topic, but I do my best to, I have a 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And for me, I try to do my best to just give them a very holistic view of music, right?
Right.
We have blues. We listen to country because I listen to country. I listen to blues. I listen to R&B. I listen to J. Cole and artists like Kanye West. Like I listen to artistry, right? Like I don't listen to. You ain't gonna get no NBA YoungBoy in my house. That ain't even coming through the door. So I don't want to hear none of his stuff. But I try to give them a holistic view. So when they grow up, they can have if they want to listen to that, that's. But there's other genres that give you a whole. It's no different than traveling to me, right? Where you go outside of America and see how other cultures live. You can appreciate or hope that you can see some type of change. You get what I'm saying? With more experience comes wisdom. So to me, I try to do the same thing with my kids of just exposing them to a lot more than just hip hop and R&B. Like there's a lot. You could like country. You could like classical. Right. You could like jazz. Right. I remember riding in my mama's car and we listened to Mr. Magic, and I'm like, who listens to this with no words? My mom's like, you'll understand when you get older. Now I'm in my car. You know what I'm saying? But
hey, bro, I grew up. My pops used to rock George Benson.
Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Kenny G was big in the black. Kenny G took over the black world. Okay, with that clarinet.
Kenny G and Michael Bolton.
They was everywhere. So, but it's that us having the experience. If my mom never played it, I never knew. You get what I'm saying? So it's just it's just being cultured like that. So, but it is part of FAMU's culture. That's why I know what Willie's saying, but he knows it's part of their culture because why? I got to recruit those young kids in my locker room. And what do they listen to? They listen to Boston Richie. So if a young 18, 19, 20-year-old sees Boston Richie at FAMU at the homecomings or whatever, I want to be a part of that. So you got to listen. So
how come and I know we got to take a quick pause, but how come you don't think they kind of like repurpose that, work to use that for their benefit? It could be a recruitment tool for the university.
I think Willie will. I don't think the school will, you know what I'm saying? But Willie Simmons is going to use that as a recruiting tool. He's going to be like, yo, like who else is doing that? You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how it went wrong or bad, the fact that you have Boston Richie around the program, to me, it's like in this day and age, it's like when Snoop Dogg used to go to USC. You know what I'm saying? Like having that type of culture, or when Young Dolph went to Jackson State with Deion, like it just makes you that much cooler. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to use it. I mean, I think any coach would use that to their benefit to have a young and up and coming superstar like that, rap superstar, to come in their locker, even though I think he can't rap at all, but that's just me personally.
Can't rap, bro.
Now, if they had Kodak Black, no, they would change the game. That would have changed the game. I like Kodak Black though. I ain't gonna lie.
I do like Kodak Black. If they had Lil Baby.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think like Clark Atlanta, right? Those Atlanta artists are somewhat synonymous with those Atlanta schools. You know what I'm saying? That they go to all their homecomings and things like that. So it's part of that culture. And I think it's the same thing for FAMU, that they need to embody that Florida culture and things like that.
Absolutely. Look, I got to take another quick pause. When we come forward, I need to pick your brain about all these stories that I've been reading in the sports world. Let's talk a little bit about Bronny James on the other side, bro. Like what's going on with him, some of the latest around his situation. We'll talk a little bit about that. And I'm gonna throw this one in there for you. I'm gonna throw this in there because I ain't seen you in a long time. So I gotta do this.
If you bring up some Ravens foolishness.
No, I ain't bringing up the Ravens foolishness, but it is football.
Okay, I'll take it.
Magic Johnson.
I like it.
You like it? Okay, that's my man. So stay with us, folks. We got a lot to talk about on the other side, but with my man Scotty from Off Script TV and you. Stay with us. It's the culture here on the Black Star Network.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.
All right, folks, welcome back to the culture here on the Black Star Network. Been checking in with my guy, Scotty from Off Script TV, who knows all things sports. Let me tell y'all, I said it before and I will keep saying it. This man knows everything about sports, especially when it comes to HBCUs, college sports of any kind. But if you want to know a man that who knows his way around the wide world of sports, my man Scotty from Off Script TV is your guy. Scotty, let's talk a little bit about what we just learned about the situation around LeBron James' son, Bronny James. He had a cardiac arrest during the practice here in Los Angeles at USC. This was a big scare for the NBA, future Hall of Famer, but this is also a big scare for the family, man. Like, his son is still young, and I can't, when I was reading the story, Scotty, it made me think about so many times we hear of these players who suffer from something like cardiac arrest when we know, like, the life you already told us about your life as an athlete. That is a serious regimen. And then you hear a story like this, you're like, damn, man, like, what happened? What is happening in a situation like this? How does a player or individual who's taking good care of their body, who's trying to eat the right way, exercise, of course, do all that they need to do, and they still suffer like this? First, what's the latest you've been hearing about Bronny?
Well, I mean, from what I've heard, I have a friend that's really close, kind of like person like a degree away from the family, and he said that Bronny's in good condition and is stable. my thing is this. I want to let people know that this is what money doesn't buy you everything, right? Because LeBron has all the money in the world, and LeBron puts $1 million into his own body to make sure that he's able to go. He has the hyperbolic time chamber. He got all that type of stuff. So who has the same access to those amenities? His son, right? So if it's a recovery, if it's an issue, so your health, if it's your time to go, it's your time. And I'm not saying this is time. I'm just saying there's not enough money in the world that will stop something like this because of the simple fact. Think about it. He's at USC, one of the top programs in the country for basketball, for sports medicine, right? So probably is what saved them, having the cardiac arrest event. But they didn't see this coming. They didn't, there wasn't a doctor or a report that said his heart has a palpitation or whatever. So we do not know what caused the incident. So all I'm saying to people is this, is that one, money is not everything, because it didn't save him from this event, because he could have been gone. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much money LeBron had, he could have been gone. But now what's more important to you? Is becoming an NBA player more important, or is your health more important? So now you have to balance, can he come back to being what he was? Are you willing to put that risk to do it again? You know what I'm saying? To see, like, can this happen again? Will this happen again? So his career could be over before it even began. We do not know. So there's a lot of variables in this in this situation, but I pray for him to get a full recovery, that he can go back to the sport that he loves. But listen, man, like, you can have everything and lose. Man. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my.
So have they determined what was the reason that he suffered a cardiac arrest?
I haven't read it, nor has the guy I talked to. He hasn't got any information as well. So I don't really know on the full aspects of what caused that event. But think about it. Remember DeMar Hamlin, right?
That's what. Right.
How that changed his life, right? Now you're in a situation to where you don't know if there's like, hey, if the doctors come back and say, hey, we don't know why a 21, 22, healthy young man had a cardiac arrest event, that means it could happen again, right? So you're making life decisions. Like, what is more important? Is it becoming an NBA player, or is it just living a healthy life? And it's one of those decisions.
And I remember you coming on this show, and you said it, bro. I'll never forget it. You said it. You were saying he will never play football. Talking about DeMar Hamlin, he would never play football again. Nope. They're happy for him, but that's the end. That's the end of it. That's the end. And I don't think this is the offseason now. I don't think he's coming back. I think you are absolutely correct. And so when I'm thinking about with Bronny's situation, I think that's the same thing. Like, to your point, if you don't know what the cause of it is and you can't make a determination, then you are too questionable to return.
You're too questionable. And what people got to understand is USC does not want to go down as the program that lost Bronny James. You don't want to be the coach that lost Bronny James, because now they're gonna be like, were you running him too hard? Were you giving him enough breaks? Were you doing all the necessary? You get what I'm saying? Like, you got to go into this whole investigation, right? So if Bronny James comes back, he and his family are going to have to sign every possible waiver to get him to play on the court, because USC is going to say, hey, we're not going to be liable for Bronny James and whatever medical, I don't care what his name is. We're just not going to be liable for that, because the stain that will be on our institution, if you couldn't keep Bronny James healthy, what other player would want to come to USC? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, Scotty, you making sense, bro.
USC
are making sense.
USC has to look 10 years down the line, because this stuff like this sticks with you. Like, man, I wouldn't. Hey, you remember about what happened to Bronny James at USC, man? I ain't. you can't live past that. You will never live past that moment, right? So if I'm USC, I'm making LeBron and his family jump through hoops to get back on this team if that's what they want to do. And I want to let the world know of what USC recommended if it's against what LeBron and his family want. You get what I'm saying? So we're making a public statement saying, hey, as USC, we didn't think that he should come back and play for us, but the James family says, hey, he did this, he did that, he did this, and he got a clean bill of health. We took him to 3 cardiologists. They all gave him a bill of health. We're allowing him back on, but we want to be on the record saying that we didn't think it was in his best interest to come back to the team. Now, wherever it goes from there, it goes from there, but USC is not trying to be liable for that. They really aren't. They really are not.
That's huge. That's a great point. Real Brooklyn, you checked in and said, I mean, the heart is a muscle, correct? And if so, muscles go through injuries. So why wouldn't the heart go through an injury if it's being pushed to its limit? Dude is a workhorse. So he has this, and I don't keep up with Bronny. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't keep up with Bronny. But is his work ethic the same as his father's?
I haven't kept up with him like that either. Because I mean, he's just been. He's been playing basketball for a long time. From the things that I've seen and I've watched from his games, I haven't followed his career, but I've watched a couple of his games. I would say he's not a Jordan to where you're like he's not it. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew the Jordans, the Jordan boys, Marcus and whatever the other name. He's like, hey, they ain't it. LeBron, Bronny got it. Bronny got the sauce. He's good. But I want to go. She said the heart is a muscle. That's one muscle I don't want to fail. Okay, like my hamstring go out. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I pull a bicep. That's okay.
Right.
The heart is a muscle. It has been, ma'am, no. I'm a dead man. Like my heart gives out. I'm a dead man. So
you dead.
You dead. It's not. That's not. Or it doesn't. It won't work to the capacity of what it used to. Right? It's different if you pull a hamstring and your hamstring's not the same, or you tore your quad and it's not the same. If your heart doesn't pump the way it's supposed to, or you lose a ventricle, or it's man, that stuff is not to play with, man. That stuff is not to play with.
No, not at all. Not at all. Let me get one more in here before we take our next pause. Lori, you said LeBron's mother too really needs to stop. I guess you're saying Bronny's mother needs to really step into her son's life to help him to adjust. The son's life is going to change to get him involved in something else that his son is also interested in other than basketball. That's going to be the hard part of the conversation, because I know that if Bronny, I can only imagine him sitting in a hospital bed thinking about what his future is. His father is coming to him and saying to him, like, son, I'm sure that can be a very, very hard conversation. How would you have that conversation with your son who was looking to follow your footsteps? How do you have that?
That's a tough one, because as a father, you want to see it happen, right? You want to see my lineage, right? You want to see Dale Curry and Steph Curry, and you want to see that lineage. But living life is just more important. You know what I'm saying? Just living life, seeing you get married, seeing you have your own kids, seeing you have your own family will be way more important than any ball you put in the hoop. And I throw it back to you on this one, Faraji. If his name wasn't Bronny James, does USC even think about letting him back on the team?
No. Matter of fact, to the earlier point that you made, if I was USC, I'll say, no, he can't come back.
He can't come back.
He can't come back.
He can't come back.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're like, he can work in some auxiliary capacity. He can maybe do some coaching, maybe do some other, working with training or something like help us draw some of the plays, be in that part of the game. But he cannot come back and play. It's just too much, man. I wouldn't want to touch it. I would be like, you know what?
I wouldn't want to touch it.
I'm sorry. And if LeBron James says, look, I want my son back, and he pushes, We talking about basketball. I wish the pilot said that to Kobe. It's not good. It's not good weather conditions, sir. I'm so sorry. I can't do that to you. I can't see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that high profile people sometimes can kind of like push the limits of the rules and everything. I wouldn't let him come back. I would not let him come back, bro. The last thing you need is a dead basketball player who's the son of LeBron James on your court.
It's not worth it. It's just not you.
I wouldn't do it. I
wouldn't touch it.
I know the lawyers of USC are talking like, man, we don't have an insurance policy big enough for this. We can't cover this. We can't cover this. I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, Bronny. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't let you back. I don't think any college will let you on. You can leave USC. You can go to UCLA.
Yeah.
It's just too much of a risk, bro. Too much of a risk. I'm with you right there, Scotty. Look, we got to take another pause. When we come back, let's get Scotty's quick thoughts on Magic Johnson. Stay with us. It's The Culture here on the Black Star Network.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol,
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, Dave.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear. Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
All right, folks, welcome back to The Culture here on the Black Star Network. We've been checking in with my brother Scotty from Off Script TV, and Scotty is our guy, our sports contributor here on The Culture for all things sports. All right, Scotty, I want to get your take very quickly on the situation with Magic Johnson becoming the first black co-owner of the NFL team. Of course, we talked about it earlier here, but I was like, let me just pick Scotty's brain on this. Co-owner of the Washington Commanders, looking to completely do an overhaul of the culture there from Daniel Snyder and the mess that he created over the years with the Washington football team. But Magic being in this historic place, will this make a difference, Scotty? Like in the big scheme of things, I know he's not owner, he's co-owner, so that's still a big thing. But in terms of changing the culture, in terms of our engagement as black folks with the NFL, will this really make a difference from your vantage point, bro?
I want to believe it will, and the reason I say that is, and this is my caveat to it, because I think he's like 4% owner of the Commanders or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But it's how much freedom they give him to be the figurehead. Is he just a face, or is he making decisions? Because I think if Magic Johnson is making decisions, you're going to see a black head coach. You're going to see a black GM. You're going to see people in the position of color be more prominent in the Commanders' administration and C-suite. So depending on if he's just a figurehead or if he's really given the day-to-day operations to make some changes and things like that. I hope they allow Magic, because let's be real. Magic is a part of some big brands, the Dodgers, the LA United, the Commanders, and they've won. The ownerships that he's a part of, they've won. So he does have a history of bringing wins to whatever partnership he's in. I really hope that this opens the door to more minority cohorts that can get their money together and buy into teams that within the NFL, because we need more representation. It's just a matter of the beast. We need more representation because, yeah, we want to see more black head coaches, but black head coaches, you got to see, can I get a black GM that can hire the black head coach? And then can I get a black owner that's willing to hire the black GM, which is then willing to hire the black head coach? So it's
right.
You know what I'm saying? You hire what you're familiar with. You know what I'm saying? So that just is what it is.
Do you think that by him coming from that space of being co-owner instead of trying to be the big owner, do you think that actually worked to his advantage? Because, there were a lot of people, Diddy and Jay and a whole bunch of people had kind of flirted with the idea of owning a team and wanted to be the first black owner of the team, whereas Magic is a part of a investment group. He has a billionaire with him. He has, like you say, he got a few percentage points from that. So that may be the best strategy versus just coming straight out and say, okay, I'm going to be the new owner, because it's still football. Magic, I don't know how much Magic knows about football, but this is a different game. It's not like owning a Starbucks or a movie theater. It's not like owning it. You know what I mean? This is a whole different setup. So do you think by him coming in co-own is better?
No, yes, but you got to keep that same philosophy across all the white men, who half of them have not played the sport of football. Half of those guys are just business guys that got into, they look at this as a fantasy football league, really. And the way it works is the other owners have to approve their ownership. So that's the problem with the representation. If you have 31 white people looking to bring on somebody else, and they're like, okay, 7 of you are white, but 1 of you are black. All right, we'll rock with it. Instead of you getting a Diddy, a Tyler Perry, a Bob Johnson all together, they're like, oh, that's a little too much color. You know what I'm saying? That's because they have to approve that. The commissioner doesn't approve that. The other owners approve how they sell that team off or who's a part of the ownership package. So I do believe that Magic being a part of a white cohort, a white investment group, does work. But at the end of the day, it's a hard space to get into. And you can't tell billionaires how to run their business. You just can't do that.
No, because they're going to be like, what's your evidence that I'm not doing it right? I made $1 billion, son. What are you talking about? Like, I'm at the table.
Come on,
I'm at the table. So what are you talking about? No, that's a great point. That's an excellent point. Scotty, my man, it's always a pleasure to connect with you. Talk to us how people can find you on all social media platforms, and of course, some of the stories that you're working on.
Hey, man, y'all can catch me on IG, Twitter at Offscript TV, and you can catch me on YouTube at Offscript as well. Man, come on, check over. Listen, we talk about everything. I talk about Black culture. I might talk a little Carlee Lee. You know what I'm saying? I might talk a little Carlee Lee. But other than that, man, we just have a good time. Me just being petty as always, man. That's what I do.
He's only petty on the mic, y'all. In real life, he's very serious about life.
Real life, I'm cool.
My man Scotty, Offscript TV. Y'all make sure y'all follow him on all social media platforms. And Scotty, it's always a blessing to reconnect with you, man. We will be talking very soon. I'm gonna hit you up next week. So
all right, man. Appreciate you, Roger.
Talk to you.
You too,
yes,
man.
Sir. Thank you, bro. Folks, we got to take another quick pause. Stay with us. It's The Culture here on the Black Star Network.
When you talk about blackness, and what happens in Black culture. We're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in Black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland@RolandSMartin.com.
For decades, the tobacco industry has deliberately targeted Black communities and kids with marketing for menthol cigarettes. It's had a devastating impact on Black health. Tobacco use claims 45,000 Black lives every year. It's the #1 cause of preventable death. In the 1950s, less than 10% of Black smokers used menthol cigarettes. Today, it's 85%. Menthol cools and numbs the throat, making it easier for kids to start smoking. Menthol also increases addiction, making it harder for smokers to quit. Menthol cigarettes are a big reason why Black Americans have a harder time quitting smoking and die at higher rates from smoking-related diseases like cancer, heart disease, and stroke. It's time to stop Big Tobacco from profiting off Black lives. An FDA ban on menthol cigarettes will improve Black health, save lives, and protect future generations from addiction. Learn more at tobaccofreekids.org/ban menthol.
All right, folks, welcome back to the culture right here on the Black Star Network. All right, folks, for our final conversation, it is the situation with my man Jay-Z. Now, this is 50 years of hip hop. I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, folks. I've been a Jay-Z fan since Jay-Z came out, right? But the way that this man is moving in hip hop and has taken the culture to the next level in a lot of big ways, it speaks volumes about the sustainability of not just of the culture of the music, but it also talks about artistry. It talks about being creative. And so, you know, I think that we should look at what's going on within the culture. I know that, like me and Scotty had that conversation, folks got differing views about where the music stands. And I think that's the nature of music. But when you do have one artist who is able to kind of transcend the all of the boundaries and really show what this thing about our culture, our music can really look like, I think it's something that's worthy to be noticed. And I'm talking about my man Jay-Z. Jay-Z, last week, they had the exhibition in Brooklyn, what they call the Book of Hove exhibition at the Brooklyn Library. They did a whole situation, basically all of his works, all of his lyrics, all of the memorabilia. I mean, if you go to the bookofhove.com, you can find the exhibition. It's actually, they're doing like a virtual interaction exhibition online as much as there is face-to-face. So it's very interesting to see this artist, Jay-Z as an artist, just transcend and become this guy that hip hop thought would never be. But not only with that, take a look at that's Book of Hove. That's the website there, bookofhove.com. But then the other part of that, and then you could take a look at this. I mean, this is incredible. This is incredible. I know I have never seen an artist of this magnitude in my lifetime, right? No pun intended. That has garnered this level of prominence like Jay-Z has done in terms of all of his work, the impact that he's made, and so much more. Now, the other thing that is notable is that also, along with the exhibition, the fact that the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, they updated its certifications and they did so for a number of albums. Two of the albums that they updated the certifications for, the Black Album and the Blueprint 3, and it officially has made Jay-Z the first Black man to have at least 10 solo albums go multi-platinum. This happened a couple of weeks ago where his 2009 album, the Blueprint 3, reached double platinum status, and then his 2003 album, the Black Album, reached quadruple platinum status. Now, although he's the first Black man to achieve this accomplishment, he is not the first Black person overall. That honor would go to none other than Mariah Carey, who has more than 11 solo records that have gone at least double platinum in the country. So Black music is always leading the pack, folks. Black music is the trend. Black music sets the agenda for our culture. So I just wanted to take a quick moment to say big shout out to Jay-Z. Congratulations on all of the success that he's been blessed with, the beautiful family, but more importantly, man, the impact that he has made for the culture. And the culture will get better because he's growing up, he's maturing, he's focused on something bigger and better. And I know without shadow of doubt that his influence is going to trickle down to other artists. And it's a beautiful time for hip hop right now. It's a very, very beautiful time for hip hop. So big shout out to Hov for being a God MC. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. I thank each and every one of you for joining me. I want to thank my man. Make sure y'all support him on all social media. Also, I want to thank my team, my man King Keenan. I want to thank Shannon. I want to thank Chris, who's producing for the show today, and my man Joel. And of course, I want to thank each and every one of you, our culture crew, whether you're a new culture crew member or OG legacy culture crew. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Make sure you do your due diligence. Support us here at Black Star Network. Go to our website today at blackstarnetwork.com, blackstarnetwork.com. Download the app for free. Follow us on social media. And then, of course, if you can, make a donation so we can continue this momentum of providing Black news and information like never before. So go to our website at blackstarnetwork.com. Also, follow me on social media at The Real Faraji on Twitter, on Instagram, or Faraji Muhammad on Facebook and Twitter. And I love to connect with you. All right, folks, stay tuned. Up next is Roland Martin Unfiltered. As always, never be afraid to challenge what's wrong. Stand for what's right while being yourself in the process. God willing, we will talk tomorrow for another exciting edition of The Culture. We're going to check in with my sister Suzette Speaks. That's going to be here tomorrow on The Culture, here on the Black Star Network. Talk to you soon. Peace.